It's been a couple days, and after I had finished recording Mother Wounds Part 3, um, something really cool happened. And I wasn't sure if I was going to share it. I was like, nah, it's cool, but I feel today that I should share it. Um, so a miracle happened. I've been talking about, and I find it, well, it's not really strange, but it happened at the time that I've been talking about mother wounds and healing from it. I said, this is what God did. I, I'm a giver by nature. That is what I love to do. I love to give things that I have, give to see other people happy, all of that. And my family is kind of like that too. But um, especially for like my mama and things, it would be like they like to give, but sometimes I feel like, well, why do you give all this stuff and then you don't need it back or all that other stuff? So there's always been like this weirdness with giving where I'm always giving everything. They're like, you give too much or you just give everything like, and they like to hold things back for stability reasons. So it's not that they're not givers, they are, but sometimes when it comes to stability, people like to hold on to things because they're like, it's what makes me feel stable, it's what makes me feel secure. I understand that. And so a friend of mine, we were talking one day and she was making um like fruit juice, but she's like, man, I really wish I had a juicer. And I was like, oh, that's wild, we got like a bunch of them here that we don't use. And she was like, wait, what? Like, you have a bunch of juices that you don't use? She said, could I have one? And I said, I'm sure you could. Like, we honestly don't use anything. We have other gadgets that we use. And I said, hey, I'm going to ask, and then I'll let you know. And we kind of like laughed it off or whatever. And over the course of like maybe 2 weeks or so, she kept reminding me to ask, and I kept forgetting. Not because I didn't want to, I literally just kept forgetting. But at some point, I was going to ask, and there was like a very brief comment that was made, like, "Why would you give something that doesn't belong to you?" And it produced like this fear inside of me because I know I'm the giver of the family, and then all of a sudden, I felt really insecure about asking about giving this thing away because I'm like, oh well, it doesn't belong to me. I'm kind of just showing up and saying, hey, can I give this away? And so I'm just like, let me not, let me just leave it alone for a bit, and I completely just started forgetting about it. But then my friend was like, "Hey, let me know about this juicer, or I'm just gonna go buy one." And it came to a point where she needed an answer. She needed to know yes or no, so that because like if she could get one, then she wouldn't have to buy, right? And I understood that. And so, as I do in the mornings, I sat, I prayed, and I said, "You know what, God, give me the boldness and the faith to ask that." Um, if they say no, they say no, but at least let me ask. That's the least I can do. So I head downstairs because I currently still live with my parents. I'm in the middle of transition. I will make a podcast about that, but at the moment, I'm currently still at my parents' house. And even just talking with my friend last night, we were just talking about where the place I used to live beforehand, which a good friend of mine, and how it fell apart really quickly, and how I had to go through that experience to be here. And I've talked about it on the podcast, so it's so interesting that that theme came up again last night. And it's what caused me to be back here at this house, and this is the place that I've been growing from. This is the place that God has restored me. This is the place that God has restored my relationship with my mother. And it's at a really good space, y'all. I don't know if I said that before, but it's at a really good space right now. And a lot of it is me understanding perspectives, how she was raised, things that she's been through. The other part is me maturing. And as we mature, we find less and less things to fight about or to hold on to or all of that. There's certain things that we're like, we're not going, it's not, it doesn't even matter that much. You know what I'm saying? So I go downstairs and I ask my mom, I'm like, hey, the juicers. She said, "Oh, you want to get rid of them?" And I was like, "Wow!" Like it hit my head. I was like, "That's interesting." And so I said, "Well, I had a friend who wanted one. Could I give it to her?" And she was like, "Oh, sure." And so I said, "Okay." Now I'm deciding which juicer do I give her because we have multiple. And but she lives in another province. She lives in British Columbia. I live in Ontario. For those who don't understand Canada, it's I don't even know how. It's about a 2 day drive away from where I live. Like over 24 hours it takes to drive there by car. It is a 4 hour plane ride away. Like let me just set the scene and put it into perspective. It's not close. Um, on the other side of Canada. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick the smaller one so I can ship it to her. And she was like, my mom, she was like, isn't that gonna be a lot of money to pay for shipping? I'm like, oh yeah, she said she'll pay for shipping. Mom was like, with the shipping rate, you might as well just like buy her a new one. Like it's the same amount of money. And so my mom began to say how she was gonna buy a new one for her, and I was like, this is odd, but okay. Well, I'm like, Ma, you really want to buy a new one? She's like, tell me the price. How much is it? And so I said, okay, Mom, like, what's your budget for this? And she's like, well, I don't know. What's the price? So we're going back and forth. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just look it up. So I look up on Amazon, and my mama had said, I seen some different prices. I said, oh, well, there's some here for like $100. She's like, okay, $100 not bad. I said, oh, okay. So now I'm looking through reviews to make sure I find a good one, and I'm still kind of like in shock as I'm typing all this out as I'm doing all of this. Um, and because my mom's like, man, to ship it all the way to Colombia. That's too much. She knows that I once had a friend who lived in Canada but had to leave and ended up going back to Colombia. And I said, no, 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 not Colombia, British Columbia. And she's like, oh. And I was like, yeah, do you still want to do it? She's like, well, yeah, like it's still shipping either way. I said, okay, cool. And so I'm looking. I finally find one. I was trying to find one for under 100, so that with taxes and everything, it'd be $100. But I didn't find that for what I wanted. And so I said, okay, Mom, here's the deal. We can get this one. You pay the 100. I'll just pay the taxes so that she can get this one. And Mom was like, yeah, no problem. And so now my mom was buying a brand new juicer for this friend who I originally just wanted, who would have taken a used one. And I'm in shock. And so I had my friend's address and all that. So I set it up, paid for it, all of that. And now I gotta call her 'cause for some reason anxiety hit in, and I'm like, wait, is that the right address? Is this? Is this that? So I didn't confirm. And so I call her, and she's three hours behind me, so it was early where she was. And I'm like, hey, just verify your address. And she was like, oh, they said yes. And I'm like, no, it's better than that. And she's like, huh? So she verified the address. And then I tell her, I'm like, no, my mom bought you a new one. And y'all, she was in shock. She was in shock. Grateful, but it went above what we ever expected it to be. And our mothers are very similar in personality. Like they don't necessarily they love us, but they don't necessarily show it through emotions or like telling you I love you or hugs. That's not their style. So we just have to like know that they love us. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that we just that they come around and do or say. And so she's like, wait, your mom bought me this. And I'm like, yeah, mom said it's an early Mother's Day gift. And when I was talking to my friend later on that day, she's like, she's never received a Mother's Day gift. This was the first Mother's Day gift that she has ever received outside of like her kids' art and stuff like that. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like, what it felt like in the moment is that God was using my mom to heal wounds in her, to heal wounds in me, to just show me that God has changed her heart, her mind, her soul. Like, he has done a lot of work in my mom. And it made me so proud and so happy and just like so encouraged at what God was doing and how he was restoring things. And that he didn't restore it necessarily just to me, but he used her to restore a hurt in somebody else. And I'm like, man, that's so beautiful. He restored a mother wound in somebody else. And I got to witness it. It was like a truly a miracle. I got to witness it. And so the juicer came later on that day. It was same day shipping. Amazon has us in a clutch hold for that. And it was just such a enjoyable process that I was gonna record it, and then I'm like, nah, it's okay. Like, I don't want to put this all out there. But I'm like, the thing is, sometimes when God does miracles, it's not just for us. It's for people to know that He is a God who restores. He is a God who answers. And for everything that I had gone through with my mom, for her to come back and bless a friend who she might have met her once, incredible. Incroyable. Like, it just shows me the power of restitution, the power of restoration, the power of forgiveness, the power of believing that somebody can change, and not just believing it, but like, yeah, 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 they can change, but like seeing it in action. Even for Mother's Day this year, my mom was like, her Mother's Day gift doesn't have to be anything crazy. She's like, if you guys are thinking of getting me a Mother's Day gift, then you can like donate to the church because they're doing things for mothers on my behalf. And I'm just like, Lord, who is this lady? Like, I love it. But like, and it's not that she isn't just giving. That's the thing. She is giving. But it was just a refreshing new side of her that I was experiencing. And had I not been in this house, I wouldn't be able to experience that. Had I not been in this house, my friend wouldn't have gotten a juicer and her first Mother's Day gift. Like, there's things that we don't always understand of why we have to go back to certain places, why we got to be around people who hurt us. But there is so much beauty in the journey. There's so much beauty in knowing where you used to be and realizing where you've come and how far you've come. And we've come a long way. Like, we've honestly come a long way. There's things that, okay, so I know that my mom's not necessarily the affectionate type in that way. So then I'm the one who gives hugs randomly, or I'm the one who says I love you randomly. Like, I don't have to sit here and get mad that it doesn't happen for me. I then become the producer of those things, and it's reciprocated. Like, I know sometimes we're like, oh, we don't always want to be the one that, but when we understand who people are and where they're at, sometimes it just is what it is. Sometimes we got to do a little more. Sometimes we got to step up a little bit more because they never had that. They never had that type of relationship. They never had that type of experience. And we become that experience for them until they're able to do it on their own. And they may not. We have to be able to live with the fact that, okay, you know what? I understand this about this person. They may not ever change, but I'm here for it. I'm here to say this is the role that I'm going to play. I accept it, I receive it, and so now I'm going to step up in this role and I'm going to show love in this way. It really would set us apart if we're able to do that. It really would set us up in a great way if we're able to come to that understanding, come to that realization and acceptance. It's been an interesting journey. Like I said, for that miracle to happen in the midst of me talking about mother wounds and how so many mothers are disconnected from their families because of the things that they've been through that they just don't know how to react to. They don't know how to be differently than what was given to them. It's just a testament to the work that God is doing through me and that He wants to do through other people. And so I pray anybody listening to this has an experience with their mothers, has an experience of forgiveness, has an experience of realization and reflection, that you reflect upon your relationships. Now, again, it's not for you to put yourself in a relationship where you're being verbally abused or anything like that, but it's to put yourself in a position to start healing, to start understanding, to start bringing language to what it is you've been feeling or you've been going through so that you can heal, so that you don't have to take it on, so that you don't feel like this is all that life is, so that you can recognize that there's so much better. And with prayer, with time, with um, the right decisions made, things can get better. And when I say time, again, time meaning you have to make a decision that you want better, that you want to do differently. You can't just sit there and be like, okay, time, take it away. Because if you make no decisions to understand, if you make no decisions to be in their lives or nothing, nothing will change. Had I not come back here and just the last 9 years happened as it happened, I would be in the same situation. And I had to heal. I had to go through it. I had to move through this journey and not allow it to break me. My friend reminded me that, like, as we were talking last night, I'm like, when my son died, everybody left me. Many people. They hung around for a little bit, but in the end, a lot of people left me alone. And I couldn't talk to my family because we were beefing. And so I really went through the first journey of grief completely by myself. And he had asked me if, like, I had forgiven, and I'm like, yeah, because it would do me more harm than anything to hold on to hurt, to hold on to hate, or to hold on to ill feelings towards people who weren't in a capacity to um, understand what was happening. I've always been wiser than my age. And so things that I understood back then, people are now just understanding. It's been 9 years. And that's okay. People move at their own pace as long as they eventually understand it. As long as people eventually get to a point of like, man, this is what it is, there will always be a place for forgiveness. Forgiveness, A, had to happen on my side first because I understood the situation. And so because I understood it, I accepted it, I received it, and I released everything that didn't serve me. But forgiveness for other people will only happen when they get to that same measure of understanding. And it was such a beautiful thing to watch transpire, to watch how sometimes God will use other people to heal and to intercede for others, and how He will allow us to um, be a stand-in sometimes for other people in other situations. Just like we can have, like when we don't got no father in the child's life, a father figure could step up. Um, Sometimes we'll end up being mother figures for other people. Sometimes we'll end up just being role models for other people. Sometimes we will stand in for the things that they missed out on in life, and we are not who they lost, but we're just an example of the goodness that could have happened for them, and that can still happen in this moment. And so it's been an incredible journey. I will say that. I didn't know that this level of restoration was even possible when I first started out. I couldn't see it. And now I'm grateful for all that God has for it. I'm grateful for the ups, the downs, and everything in between. I'm thankful that I'm at peace where I'm at. Um, I'm thankful for how far He's brought my mom. I thank you for whatever else she got going on. She got to work on that. That ain't got nothing to do with me. What I know is she did the best that she could with what she had. Most people, they did the best they could with what they had or what they knew. And when we understand that, when we accept that, we will let people off this leash that we got them on. We will let people off the hook. Because when you know that someone tried their best and did their best, what more is there for you to say? Mother wounds. Y'all, if you need prayer over this, let me pray for you because I know what it's like. I've been there. You can send me an email, you can send me a message on YouTube, you can send me a DM on Instagram, however you need to get in contact with me, get in contact with me and I will definitely pray for you. Because we don't have to suffer alone. We don't have to suffer in silence. There is a way out and there is healing on the other side of grief. Y'all take care. Now, if this topic is something that resonates with you, I normally speak something in the outro, but this specifically, if this is something that resonates with you, something that you need help with, or something that you need guidance on, mentorship to move forward on, then get in touch with me. I have an amazing program that is designed to help move you from feeling misunderstood, feeling overwhelmed, feeling just surrounded by trauma, into a place of healing, into a place of love and understanding and moving forward. Because life has been lifing, and you've already wasted too much time on relationships that have been broken. You've already wasted too much time crying on things that don't need to stay. And so let's work together. Let's get to the other side of healing, because there is so much victory in it, and restoring relationships restores your health. Hey, thank you so much for listening to the Lips and Language podcast. My name is Cola. I am so excited that you are here. If anything I said today resonated, then get in touch with me. I have an amazing mentorship program. It is for those who feel misunderstood, overwhelmed, going through grief. It is truly an amazing time. If you want more info, hit my website, lipsandlanguage.com. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can hit it up on the website or DM me. I have a free gift for you, and I would love to be in contact with you. Whatever you decide, just know that healing, it looks good on you. And I'm so excited that we get to do this journey together. Have a blessed day. And if nobody told you, I will. I love you. Enjoy your day, and we'll talk soon. Peace.